Hey, don't miss their shows.
So what's your podcast about?
Hip-hop music.
Hey, what's up? This is DJ Redeem. You're tuned in to the Chinks Brothers Show.
Those Chinese, they work hard.
You girls took your brother to hip-hop party?
Yo, what up? This your boy Mellow Man Ace at Padrino, and you're checking out the Chino Brothers right here. Keep it locked.
Dude, I think we go early sometimes, Adelaide, to be totally honest with you.
Like, you know what's weird? Because I hit go live, we start streaming, but then it takes a few minutes for people kind of get the notification, pop on. Is that what you're saying? Like we should wait a minute or two, or
I don't know, because I feel like I have no idea, bro. What do I know about this crap anymore? You know what I mean? What I do know is that's a dope intro. I need to pick Tom Vu. When we get to season 6, I'm putting Tom Vu back in.
Nice. Other famous Asians that should be in the Chino Brothers intro.
I don't know.
Bruce Lee.
What about, oh yeah, dude. What if I just do like a whole bunch of Asian people?
That would be kind of cool, I think. Ken Jeong.
Dude, guess what I got today? Guess what I got today?
What'd you get?
Dude, if I put Ken Jeong, it's gonna be when he played that gangster in The Hangover, bro. I ain't gonna put none of his other roles. They were whack. Guess what I got today though? My Adidas house shoes, bro.
Ooh.
Check these out.
Fresh, bro.
Dude, I love these things.
Whoa.
Bang, the 3 stripes right there. And then the old school on the back. Dude, I love these things.
Legit too. Where'd you buy them at? Outlet
Amazon,
or full price? Amazon.
Okay. I don't know full price. I think sneakers are going to be on special for a while right now.
I think everything's going to be on special for a while right now.
Dude, I'm telling you, I love these sneakers. I love these sneakers. Bro, how about this? When this recession gets real cracking, you want to go back to Vegas like we did? We'll tell you guys a real quick story about the Chino Brothers, and then we're going to bring DJ KGB on. I'm really excited to talk to this dude because this dude sounds like he's going to spill stories. What about you, Adley?
It's going to be great stories, and just being the fact that this dude's basically international. You know what I mean? So it's going to be great just to get the vibe from across the world about DJing and hip hop and stuff. And then, you know, LA and he's also from Denver and stuff too. So it's going to be great. I love it. I'm excited.
I'm super excited too. But real quick, folks, before we bring on DJ KGB, I'm going to tell you what me and Adelaide did in the last recession. So we both went to Vegas and they had this wristband and it was $44. Was it about $40 or 40? How much?
Right around there, right around $40, 44 probably. Yeah.
I think it was $44 and you got 24 hours of buffet. 24 hours of buffet, you guys. And so me and Adelaide, it was like 7 different buffets. It might have been more than that because it was like at every casino. Remember that?
Yeah, it was a bunch of different ones. Yes.
Yeah. And so me and Adelaide would go from one casino to the next casino and we just take like 5 bites of what we really wanted. So it was like, all right, let's get some crab. That's when you learn that trick, Adelaide. Remember that trick I taught you? Tell everybody my trick.
So I've been doing it wrong the whole time. I'd get a couple crab legs, crack them, dip them in butter, eat them. Mike's on, no. He goes and gets one of the big bowls that you get for like the soup or whatever, pasta. Gets a big bowl, fills it with butter all the way, dude. So think of like your Lucky Charm cereal in the morning. Think of the milk would be butter. And then he takes a pile of crab legs, like a pile this big, brings it back and just sits there for 20, 30 minutes, just cracking, drop it in the butter, cracking, drop it in the butter. So you have crab butter soup.
That's it, dude. Crab butter.
Oh my
soup.
gosh.
Oh boy. Change your life,
good.
dude. Change your life.
So good. Yes.
Know,
yes.
And then we end up going to like all these different buffets.
Paris.
Oh man. Yeah, dude, that was the last one we went to. We went to Paris because Adelaide wanted crepes. Why did you want crepes?
It was like a French thing, right? I wanted some of that French deliciousness. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you might not believe this part, but when we were in line, there was these 2 Australian girls flirting with us. And I said, Adelaide, should we sit next to them? And you said, no, man, you got a wife and I'm engaged. And I said, you think something bad's gonna happen? And you said, yes, man, let's not do that. What's going on, cousin Marcus? But anyway, this is how cheap we are, folks. I don't even know if I'd still not be this cheap. We go and we bang out all the buffets, right? And then finally at the end of it, which, by the way, Adelaide can't stay up as late as I can. So Adlai always, when me and Adlai hang out, he always crashes out way sooner than I do. So we're chilling at this casino. I'm just losing money like a gambler, man. I cannot keep money in my pocket. I keep having to call Sherilyn. Hey, I needed, take another $200 out of my bank account. I was so embarrassed.
This was before vape shops too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I didn't have no money back then. This wasn't rich Mike. This was coming up, Mike. I still got a student loan, Mike. But anyways. Yeah, so I'm walking back to the hotel room to see Adlai, and then the most unattractive streetwalker starts saying, hey, you got a light? And I'm like, oh no, please not tonight, lady. And she comes up to me, she's like, hey, where's the party at? And I'm like, do I really look that ugly that I look like I would pay you for that type of privilege? Like, that's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, am I that ugly that I'll have to pay someone as ugly as you? But I didn't pay her. So left me alone. And then me and Adlai, we just ate our way through that 24 hours to the final hours, folks. And then we'll get to KGB, I promise. But let me tell you how genius I am. And Adlai went along with it. We went to the final buffet. What's up, Doc?
DJ Doc?
We went to the final buffet and we sat there and ate through lunch and waited to dinner so we could get an extra 2 hours. And we just chilled at that buffet. If I had a poop, I just went over to the bathroom out in the casino, but I still have my wristband. Like, no, I'm still pooping. I wasn't pooping. Remember that?
So the 24-hour pass was like a 26-hour pass.
Yeah.
And we waited for the crab legs. Totally worth it. Yeah, totally worth it. Oh, man. Yeah, we got to do a Vegas trip.
Dude, at the bottom of this, if Vegas does something nutty like that again, then we'll do it. How about that? At the bottom of this recession.
Woo. Hey, how's the live studio audience doing over there?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm like, you're talking about the people that are watching? Oh, sorry, I forgot.
But yeah,
I forgot last week. Remember, I was like, oh man, I felt crab so legs. Bad too.
DJ Doc doesn't like crab legs,
dude. A lot of people don't like crab legs.
Really?
I think it might be an Asian thing, bro. I think we might be alone on this. All right, go for it. Get it. Bring in KGB. I'm all ready for you with the studio audience. Oh, Adlai froze. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, DJ KGB. Hold on, KGB.
Hey, gentlemen.
Did he come back? Did I come back?
Yeah, you came back. Close out whatever's there.
It's that. Can I say the name of the company?
What is it?
Spectrum.
Oh.
Good old Spectrum, man.
You got Spectrum. KGB, you got Spectrum. I had AT&T before.
I got Spectrum. Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
It's the fastest upload speed. That's the thing. Spectrum has the fastest upload speed in your guys' city.
They do. So I got a 1 gig pipe, but I never get 1 gig. Every time I do a speed test, it's always 300 meg. And though I pay for a gig. Yeah, but to Mike's point, yeah, the upload is pretty damn awesome. So
for everybody, compared to everybody else, I'm the one that found him his cable package, DJ KGB.
He called for me with me on the line, like, okay, what do you want? And Mike's this is what he wants.
Well, I worked at the cable company, first of all, but I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and 1 gig is that's normal. Everybody has a gig because I have FiOS.
Oh, that's
FiOS is actually good. Yeah, we don't have FiOS service in our neighborhood, even though we have fairly brand new construction, brand new homes out here. There's no FiOS out here.
Yeah, you're outside of LA by Magic Mountain. That's Valencia, right?
We're in Valencia. Yeah,
Valencia. Oh, that's awesome. So, but we got to go back. We could talk about Wi-Fi, but more importantly, we got to talk the story of KGB.
No, forget this crazy story. I want to talk about Wi-Fi.
Oh, well, yeah, Wi-Fi.
T-Mobile's got Wi-Fi. Just kidding.
Hey, I want you guys to go back and start talking more about Vegas and these crazy stories of ugly ass.
Dude, it's when Adlai and I were young, we adored that place, and that's not a good place for Asian people to be. But Adlai is correct. This isn't the Chino Brothers only show. This is the Chino Brothers interviewing DJ KGB show. So let's bring it back. You're from the Ukraine, sir. Is that what we understand?
Yeah. So born in the Ukraine. Yep. Grew up in Ukraine. Came to the United States. I was born in '69. Greatest year ever. Came to the United States back in '78 when I was about 9 years old, and we settled in Denver, Colorado, and that's pretty much where I grew up.
Wait, how old were you? I'm sorry, when you got to Denver, I apologize.
I was about 9 years old.
Okay.
I was about 9 years old. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how mean the kids are going to be to him when he gets to America.
That's true. That's fourth, fifth grade. Yeah, right.
You know, honestly, when we came to the United States, we didn't know a lick of English. I did not know one word. I didn't know what yes was. I did not know what no was. So it was starting from the ground up. You know, we know, obviously I speak Russian fluently.
But you were in the Soviet Union at the time. That was the Soviet Union.
Yeah, exactly. So born in the Ukraine, we were part of the Soviet Union, one of the 15 republics. So that's when Soviet Union was still, you know, intact before everything started breaking apart back in the, you know, early 90s, 92, 93.
In fact, before Ronnie got there and said, Mr. Putin, not Putin, who is it? It was
tear down that wall.
Well, Gorbachev.
Yeah, Mr. Gorbachev.
Yeah.
That was back when Khrushchev was slapping stuff. We will bury you. That's what he was saying.
That was back in the early 70s, I think, is what.
Back then, huh?
Yeah, when you were there, man. This dude, he was trying to get nuclear bombs sent to your house.
Yep.
That's
crazy times, man. It was crazy time, and it was a crazy country to grow up in, man. It was.
I've heard stories about Ukraine. I got some military buddies that were stationed out there, and like Ukraine's wild.
Yeah, Ukraine, but I'm just talking about the USSR.
Yeah, USSR. Yeah. Like, you ain't got no military buddies that were in USSR. You know, that's what I want to know about. What was it like being in a communist country? It was during the Cold War. What was that like?
Well, it was tough, only from the standpoint that you know, growing up in a communist country and, you know, being you know, so my family is Jewish, right? There was a lot of prejudice going on.
Anti-Semitism.
There was a lot of prejudice. There was a lot of anti-Semitism. You know, it was not uncommon to just walk down the street and have all sorts of slurs thrown at you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, you know, basically people saying, "Hey, you know, what are you doing in our country, USSR? Go back to Israel where you belong." That type of stuff, just straight up, just walking down the street. You know, I remember, you know, like as a kid, like walking to a grocery store with my grandmother at the time, and just her just being berated left and right, up and down. Yeah. But on the flip side, being Jewish, growing up in the USSR at the time was the best thing that's ever happened to us, because that's pretty much was the basis as to why we were able to come to this great country of the United States of America.
That's right, baby. The United States, best country ever. And I want to also say the Chino brothers stand behind Israel, and we will never be anti-Semitic or allow any form of anti-Semitism on the show. You agree with me, Adelaide?
Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, United States is the best country in the world. Let's be for real, right?
There's no. Listen, take it from somebody who's lived in a communist country, who has lived in other parts of the world. I think, and I've often said this when I've made speeches and when I've talked to people, that I think true Americans that really grew up here and talk crap about this country, they really don't know how good they have it. Like, they really don't know what it's like to be on the other side.
Preach.
You know? No, it's you know, it's true. I mean, from somebody like me and from my family and a lot of my friends who grew up in, you know, communism, poverty, not being able to be free. It saddens me to see even today what's happening in this country, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this, KGB. Me and Adelaide, we come from a different time, obviously, because we're as old as you are. So when, in my mind, this is how I feel. I'm a very successful businessman, KGB, and I don't toot my horn that very often, but I found out what my company made last year, and it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. That being said, my grandfather was put in a relocation camp in this country in the Second World War as a Japanese American. Now, let me tell you about America. If America hates you that bad, then why would they give you the opportunity from the generation of being a prisoner to one generation away being a successful businessman? I don't know any other country you're going to be able to do that in. If you're a prisoner, specifically if you're an ethnic prisoner in a country, that's how you're going to live. You know what I mean? There's not too many countries that retribute for that and go, all right, you know what? That wasn't what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, and I think that speaks volumes to the opportunities that are afforded to the people in this country. You know, and I think that's the big part, is the opportunities, right? Because we are afforded as Americans just so many opportunities that other people throughout the world don't get afforded to, that I think too many people just take that for granted, you know?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Was it a huge culture shock? It had to be, right?
Oh, it was a huge culture shock. And, honestly, a lot of people, as soon as I say that I was born, and sometimes I slip, I still say I was born in Russia, and they're like looking at me like,
Like, wait, what?
I'm like, no, 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 wait. I was born in the Ukraine. I was part of the USSR. We were called Russia at the time, right? USSR.
Mm.
I'm Ukrainian. But the first time I ever opened my mouth and just say that I was born in the Ukraine, USSR, and I came to America when I was 9, everybody, to a T automatically assumes that we defected.
KGB, I got that. I totally obviously thought you defected, but I got a question for you about the USSR, because I am so fascinated. You're not fascinated by that, Adley?
Total. No. This is a really cool story. Yeah.
But when
definitely fascinated.
When you were a kid, weren't you fascinated by the USSR? Because it was like, we'd watch these movies about the bread lines and the lack of freedom and the lack of freedom of speech.
All true.
And then we also saw these cool documentaries where our movies would get translated into Russian and translated into Slovak, and then go over there, and you guys would have VCR tapes of like Rambo or Rocky or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any
black
of those
market
bootlegs?
stuff though?
Yeah,
right?
did you have any of them bootlegs when you were over there?
I didn't have that much. You know what we did have though, and I think this ties into my musical background, is we had a lot of bootlegs of records.
Oh yeah, so did we.
Yeah, we had a lot of records. And I could talk. I mean, I can get into a deep story about how we, about my dad and what he did and how he was able to provide some of that stuff for us.
I mean, we're all ears, baby. Come on, start telling us this story. Your dad sounds like a hero.
So my dad was a hero, and honestly, my dad is the reason why we're here in America. Why I'm here in America, and I'm going to try to do the Cliff's Notes version, because I've done it. I can talk for 2 or 3 hours about these stories.
It's your time, KGB. I told you leave when you want to leave. So if you want to tell us about this hero, we want to hear about it.
Well, so my dad, my dad was in the Russian army. I mean, everybody has to serve for 3 years. That's like mandatory. So when my dad came back from the army, he basically got a job as a teenager in a warehouse, a tire warehouse, where he rose very, very quickly. Became a manager, became like a VP, but working for a company in back then the USSR, in the communist state, you don't really make a lot of money, right? Your salary is pretty set. Well, it wasn't good enough for him. He wasn't satisfied with that. He wanted more. He was an entrepreneur. He wanted to have his own business. He wanted to set his own hours, kind of what us entrepreneurs that have our own businesses are afforded to, right? But in a communist state, you can't have your own business. Everything's owned by the government. So as a teenager, he had one of his uncles was a carpenter. He was a woodmaker. Like, he would make cabinets, doors, and he took my dad under his wing, and he was basically his apprentice. He taught him when he was like 17 carpentry, how to make doors, windows, cabinets. And so my dad ended up finding a little wood shop outside the city where we were living, like underground, like, so nobody on the DL, right? So nobody
KGB
would know.
couldn't find him. Yeah,
the KGB couldn't find him. The government couldn't find him.
That thick? Like, it was that crazy? Like,
it was that crazy.
Wow.
It's that
Holy
crazy.
God.
That is crazy. And so he would work his day job, right? And then on Saturday and Sundays, on his off time, on his weekends, we would go to the wood shop where, he would source lumber. He, sourced all the tools, the machines, everything to make doors, windows, cabinets, and he was damn good at it. I mean, he would turn out some quality stuff. So what he would do with this stuff is once a month, he would load up a pickup truck, and he would drive probably a good 200 miles on a Friday night to a pretty big city where they would do flea markets, right? They were swap meets, and he would sell his doors and cabinets and windows on the black market, and he would make a lot of money. Like he
Huh.
would make a lot of money off of that.
At the swap meet, you
At
said?
the swap meets, yeah, the swap meets.
Wait, now how do you have a swap meet when you have a communist country? How does this
Yeah,
work?
where do people get money from?
This was all on the down low, right? This was just people meeting up. I mean, it was a swap meet, but it was all in the middle of the night on a weekend, and it was just trade of goods, right? I will give you.
How would you all know how to meet up?
It was all underground, back end conversations. You obviously wouldn't use cell phones or telephones at all. You would have word of mouth. You would have people say, "Hey, I know a guy in such and so city that makes cabinets, doors, windows. I know you need some. I'm going to go meet them. What can you offer him?" And they would barter. So somebody would give him vegetables. Somebody would give him fruits. Somebody would give him records. Somebody would give him lobsters, whatever. So he'd bring all this stuff back, and they would barter, right? So, and some of them would give him a lot of money. So some would give cash, some would just give goods and services, right? So we would have, for being Russian at the time, like my family was really well off because of him, right? We were really well off, and we would have plenty of food, we would have plenty of fruits, we would have all these nice material things. So we had a nice apartment, very nicely decorated, and of course with the money, we literally would just keep it under a mattress at a friend's house, right, or grandma's house. So
hold on 1 second, KGB, because I want to put some context to this. So back at that time, you guys, for those of you who don't know a lot about the Soviet Union, the anti-American propaganda that they would show the American grocery store. It's all filled with groceries. They say, see, America's so poor, they can't afford to buy their groceries. That's why they're still on the shelf. Then they'll show the USSR grocery store with nothing on the shelf. They say, we are so rich that we can't keep these things on the shelf. That was the type of propaganda that they were doing back then in USSR.
Yeah, there's a lot of propaganda about a lot of things, right? There's a lot of propaganda about a lot of things, and Mike, you're right on. Most of the stores, they were empty. There were no groceries. You had to wait in line for an hour and a half for 2 loaves of bread if you're lucky. If you're lucky, right?
Wow.
You have to wait at the time for over an hour for a pair of shoes. And if they didn't have your size, you just get whatever size they get. Whatever you have, we'll make it work. We'll stretch them, we'll shrink them, whatever. Just get me anything, right? So
and they had one vehicle, correct, DJ KGB?
They had one vehicle. The Russian name was Zhiguli. That was the vehicle, and everybody drove a Zhiguli. So.
And it wasn't well made, from what I understand.
No. You were lucky if you were able to make it from point A to point B, without it just basically disintegrating on you. So,
what up, Panama?
Panama.
We're having a really cool conversation with DJ
Uncle
KGB.
Dwight. That's my Uncle Dwight. What's up, Uncle Dwight?
Yes,
shouting out you, KGB.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been fascinated by that era in history because, propaganda is so strong, and Americans, like, this is how much Americans were taught to hate Russians. You told me how much you love your dad, and I'm a sucker for a dad story. I loved the crap out of my dad before he passed away. I know Adley loves his dad, but as soon as you told me he was a Russian soldier, I hated your dad for about 3 seconds in that story, bro. No offense to your dad or yourself. God bless you both, but I'm just being 100% American with you.
Yeah, but my dad was a soldier, but he never carried a rifle. He was a drummer.
Oh, nice.
Okay. For music. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's where I got a lot of my music is from him.
Tell us about these records. What kind of records is he bringing home?
He was bringing home Elvis. He was bringing a lot of records from the 50s and 60s. Irie Brothers.
Oh, nice.
A lot of obscure things. He would bring home. I think he brought home Isley Brothers one time.
What about Otis Redding? Anybody cool like that, or was he just bringing home? He was bringing home like Del Shannon and the Delphonics and stuff like that.
I'm sure he did. I just don't remember. I was just so young. I just remember my mom and my grandma playing The Wilson sisters were really popular with them. I don't know if you know who they are. They were playing a lot of that, and they were playing a lot of Tchaikovsky, a lot of classical stuff.
Oh, nice.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's been shown to raise your IQ, Adley. If you play that to little babies, you play that classical music.
The classical music. Okay.
I actually worked at a classical radio station, DJ KGB, while me and Adley were roommates. And I hated every second of it because I don't like classical music. I thought it was going to grow on me. It never did. So
it doesn't grow on a lot of people. Yeah, you either love it or you don't love it. It'll grow on you or it won't grow on you. There's no middle. There's no middle ground.
All right, so let's get us to the United States. Adley, push us forward.
Yeah. Okay, so you head to Denver, culture shock, and when you go in, I mean, what's going through your mind? Because you can pretty much eat wherever you want, shop wherever you want, wear whatever you want.
Oh, it was like, it's like Coming to America, the whole movie. It's like, oh, hey, there's abundance of everything. Hey, we were struggling. It was hard, because we came here with no money. We came here no money, but we were sponsored through a Jewish organization who put us up an apartment. Basically, what they do is they front you money, right? They give you a loan, they help you out financially, and then you basically, once you get on your feet, once you start getting a job and making a little money, you start paying them back, right? So they help you get on your feet. And then you repay them. And so they got us an apartment. They got my mom and my dad jobs. They got my brother and I into school. And we picked up English very, very quickly. I mean, we're 9 and my brother was 11 at the time. Okay. And so I mean, I remember the first time we went to a grocery store, right? I've never seen my mom's eyes light up. Like, I mean, they were as big as saucers. She's like, what is all this? Like, we can have anything.
Oh, like, real quick, KGB, I just want to give a shout out to DJ Clever, just showed up.
Yeah, Clever.
And DJ Clever just showed up. And I'm telling you right now, your episode might give his episode a run for its money. What do you think? Like, Clever's
was a great
episode,
show,
I think, was an amazing show. But this is
a great story.
We're getting there with this guy.
But yeah, this is awesome too.
Yeah, I know. All right, so your mom at the grocery store, I apologize.
Yeah, and so my I'll tell you a funny little story. Like, we don't know English, right? There's somebody drives us to the store, right? We walk in. And we're buying all these things, and my mom picks up a couple of cans of meat that she's going to make a stew out of, right? And so we bring it home. She makes stew out of it, and there's a label on it, but we don't know what to read of it. So she makes a stew, and it's delicious. And it ended up being, it was dog food. But we didn't know.
Afraid of that.
We don't. Yeah,
you saw that coming, Adley?
I kind of had a feeling. I was like, it was something like dog food or something.
Yeah,
oh, no.
I don't know what made her, because the way it was packaged is how she would get meat in the Soviet Union. It was packaged the same way.
I should have told you not to buy it in the first place. If it looks like that dog crap Soviet Union, get it out of here.
But it was delicious.
Canned meat. What is there? Canned meat?
Canned meat. Yeah, it was like spam consistency, like spam type. But I mean, we don't know. I mean,
KGB, I got a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of the comedian Yakov Smirnoff?
He's funny. He's got the same shtick. I mean, he needs to work on some new material,
I'm not mad at the guy's material. I'm saying, like, does it ring true when he says stuff?
True.
Are you like,
oh no,
like,
some of it is true, but a lot of it is it's fairy tale. It's made up. He just wants, he needs a laugh, right? He needs a laugh. So
he's corny, is what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
He's corny. It's corny. He's not 100% true and accurate.
All right, I'm no longer keeping him on my top 10 list.
But he is funny.
Continue on.
Like I said, I haven't seen him in ages. I don't even know. Is he still touring? Is he still doing stuff?
No, he's over in no. You know where he is? He's in Branford, Missouri.
Branson?
Yeah, Branson, Missouri. That's where it's like a Christian Vegas, if you will. Like, for all the Midwesterners that don't want to get down, they go there and they have a wholesome time, and he does a comedy show there because he doesn't curse and stuff like that. But then I'm sure, dude, I guarantee there's like a seedy part of Branson that people don't talk about. There's a strip joint, and you know what I mean? I could just about, maybe I'm wrong, but I could just about guarantee that's how it gets down. All right, so let's get back to this. So now you're going to American school. When do you start getting interested in like hip hop music and house music and stuff like that?
So I actually started listening to music and really getting interested in music back in '78 when we were living in Italy before we came to America, right? So we don't just necessarily go directly from Russia to America. To immigrate legally, which we did, you have to go and live like in Austria while your paperwork gets done, and then we went and lived in Italy for like 3 months while additional paperwork gets done before you actually come to America. So it wasn't just, hey, you're going to leave America and you're going to go right to you're going to leave USSR, you're going to go right to America, right? That's not how it works. But
wait, hold on a second, KGB. I like how KGB said to us, Adley, if you're going to come to America legally, like we did, as though we're La Migra, you know what I mean? Like we're La Migra. We got you, fool. That was the only reason why we brought you on here. We're taking you back.
What I meant is, no, we didn't defect, right? No, we didn't defect, which is what everybody thinks. But
tell us about Italy, man. That's dope.
Yeah, so
crazy.
So we were. I remember to this day where we were when it happened, but we were at a cafe on the beach, and we just ordered like a couple of pieces of pizza, got some potato chips, and Saturday Night Fever came on a jukebox. And I'm telling you, I was like, what in the world is this? This is the most incredible thing ever. Because I was listening to Wilson Sisters and all this shit before, and here comes the Bee Gees, right? And here comes
that nice backbeat.
Here comes Saturday Night Fever. You know, here comes If I Can't Have You.
Oh yeah,
you know, how deep is your love? And I'm like, what is this? I'm in love. I'm intrigued.
And it's in Italy, and they're playing English music.
Absolutely, they're playing a lot of English music, American music, European music. So when when we came to America, my cousin, who was a DJ at the time, not at the time, but was into music just as much as I was, already had all the cassettes. Like he had a subscription to KTEL Music. He was getting those tapes sent to him, and I started listening to Donna Summer, right? And he started listening to the Bee Gees and to Olivia Newton-John, and I'm like,
KGB, did you ever fall for that scam that Adelaide did with the what was it called, Adelaide, where they sent you the tape?
Was it Columbia?
Yeah,
Columbia. Yeah, I sure did. Hey man, I got my 25 tapes though for a penny.
Yeah.
I got my 25 tapes for a penny, but yeah.
Did you do that, Adelaide? I was teasing when I said that.
I probably did. I can't specifically remember, because then you get the first deal, but then after that, it's like you got to buy one at regular price per month for a year or something. So like regular price is like $25, and then $80. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of,
That's a lot of money in 2023 dollars, bro.
Even now,
yeah.
So your cousin had the hookup in the United States.
Yeah, he had the hookup. He already started collecting some vinyl.
And this is in Colorado?
This is in Denver. Yeah,
okay.
This is in Denver, Colorado. This was 78, 79, 80.
Okay.
So now we're talking about a couple more years now in. He took me to some record shops. We started collecting some vinyl. I was able to talk my parents into buying me my first turntable, and it just kind of started snowballing from there.
What was the brand? Your brand of turntables when you?
I was a Radio Shack. It was a Radio Shack.
Oh, nice.
Pretty standard. Yeah.
I feel like the mixer's always Radio Shack.
The first mixers were all Radio Shack.
Always. Yeah, everybody says that. Yeah, everybody says that.
Yeah, it was a Radio Shack, and then after that, I got an Onkyo.
Oh wow, that was the fancy line. I remember
Onkyo
those.
Was dope. Really, I didn't know
it was
Onkyo.
the Japanese product.
Really?
Yeah.
That was above my pay grade.
I was able to get the whole system: the turntable, the dual tape decks, and the sub. Like the whole. I mean, I was at the time. I was like fancy, right?
Wait, were you working a side job for this, or was mom just?
No. My parents saved up.
They were saving money by eating dog food in the city.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
You stopped after that eating the dog
They
food.
kept
though,
borrowing
for one
money
time,
from
yeah.
the synagogue and saying that it was,
Yeah.
something important. They're just
Yeah.
buying
Well,
KGB.
actually, but honestly, so I was, me and a couple of other friends, we started hustling when we were young. Like I was 11, 12, in Colorado, we get a lot of snow. So we would walk around, shovel people's
Shovel, yeah.
driveways.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
We
what the
make
kids
money.
do here in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh,
yeah,
the
we
kids
would go
do.
around, shovel snow, and we would go out all day, and yeah, we would actually make a pretty good chunk of money, and then I would go buy records or tapes or
That's where it's at.
It was
All
all
right, so-
records. It was all music.
Yeah, well,
It's all
so
music.
so your mom and dad, how old are you by the time you have 2 turntables, a mixer, and some speakers?
I was probably 14, 15
Wow.
when I had my
okay.
first setup, but my cousin, who was a little much older than I am, he had that setup first. So we would
Oh.
go over to his house and we would play around on his turntables, and I believe he already had techniques. He was already
Now, Mike,
graduated.
do you
Mike,
think of when you think of Denver? Do you think music scene?
I don't know. I don't think of his city. I'm trying to imagine like his cousin and like the garage that they're DJing in.
It was actually
and-
his bedroom.
Oh, it was his
bedroom?
bedroom?
Okay,
Yeah.
Wow, his
Yeah,
parents.
his
God bless his
bedroom.
parents.
Because
Yeah.
Denver's cool, but you don't think music. For music, you think New York,
I-
Chicago, L.A.
No, okay, if you want to know honestly what I'm thinking is this. KGB's white, but he's listening to ethnic music. But he's not from the United States, so he doesn't recognize that it's ethnic music. But his cousin, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, was American, correct? Your cousin was American.
My cousin was my cousin was Russian.
He was also
Ukrainian.
He was also
yeah,
from Ukraine. Okay.
Who immigrated 3 years before me and also got into music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just looking for good music, and like what they're recognizing is that American urban music is very good. So they don't like they've already been brainwashed, man. They already lived in the country of brainwash. So when they hear all the boo boo ya ya on the radio, they're like, why do I want to listen to Bruce Springsteen? This don't sound nothing fun to me. I want to listen to Run DMC.
Well, and honestly, so when I was, just growing up, when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, I was listening to a lot of 70s rock because I had some neighbors who had Boston and some AC/DC in the cars. But my cousin was already listening to urban type stuff, urban music. He was listening to Kool and the Gang and the Shirelles.
Yeah,
and,
the funk,
and,
the good stuff.
Yeah, the funk,
Okay.
yeah. So when I started listening to that, I'm like, oh, wait a second. I like this a little bit more. Even though I started listening to disco originally, remember in Italy, then kind of transitioned to 70s rock, and then transitioned into funk and urban type music. So I think all that is kind of molded me into the DJ that I am now, where I pretty much love and play anything and everything, right?
Cool.
So when did you start playing out? Did you play like a high school dance? Did you when did you start getting gig house parties? What?
I had a house party once with my cousin, but it's actually my cousin that got me one of my very first gigs, and it was just at a local. It was like a local restaurant.
Right?
Right?
You owe your cousin money, DJ KGB.
I do. I really do. And honestly, I made it way bigger. I mean, I'm not a big DJ, but I made it bigger than he ever did.
You're pretty big
and he
DJ.
made you carry the crates too, right? He made you carry all the crates.
He made me carry all the crates every time, like 5, 6 crates. And I think that's why
like carrying crates is picking cotton, dude. Come on, man. That's what you do when you're a young DJ. You carry
But
crates.
I'll tell you guys, one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me is when I was in high school, right? So when I was in high school and I had one of those career days, it's a day where you meet with a career counselor that asks you the big question, son, what do you want to do with your life? And, you look at him and say, I don't freaking know. So my counselor, and I still remember his name, Dr. Escobedo, he was a doctor at the time. He sat me down and he's like, so use my government name, not KGB at the time. He's like, Leo, what do you want to do? And I'm like, Dr. Escobedo, I really don't know. I mean, I'm a junior in high school, but I got to start thinking about this. But I can tell you I'm loving music. I love music. I think I'm musically inclined. I love records. I love the turntables that my cousin has and now that I have, I love playing around with it. And He's like, okay, duly noted, yada yada yada. A couple of weeks later, he gets me back into his office and says, I took to heart what you said. Your interest and what you think you may want to do later on in life. And he says, I have some connections at a radio station in Miami, Power 96. I have some friends that work there.
That's nuts.
So,
real quick, KGB. What I wanted to say was, first of all, it's nuts because this is like the 1970s, 80s.
This was in 85, 86, 85
or 86.
Okay.
85, 86.
And his high school counselor is a Latino guy.
He's a Latino guy.
Like,
he's Latino. Dr. Escobedo.
It was always white people that were in authority at that time.
I went to an all-black school. I went to public school.
No wonder you listen to such cool music. Now I understand why you listen to that cool
in
music.
Denver.
In Denver,
there's a lot of black people in Denver, bro.
I went to Denver East High School, all black school. Actually, Earth, Wind, and Fire graduated from Denver East Lincoln High School. Yep.
Wow.
Joe Barry Carroll. I don't know if you remember the basketball player, Joe Barry Carroll. He went to East High School.
Yeah.
So it's all
Brendan
black school.
Schaub went there.
Brendan Schaub went there.
Yeah. The comedian. Yeah.
Okay.
So all black school. I was one of maybe 3 white kids on the football team. Everybody listened to Run DMC, Houdini.
Yeah, my favorite.
Eric B. and Rakim. That's
Singing my song, baby. My favorite.
Yeah. That's all.
Dude, remember the first time you heard that song, 5 Minutes of Funk, DJ KGB? You thought you lost your mind.
But my favorite was Friends from Houdini.
That was dope, dude. That was a great song.
I had the 12-inch. I had a lot of them, but yeah. So I went to an all predominantly black school.
Hold on, dude. You cannot fade One Love either, though, bro. That's a great song. One Love.
Yeah.
One Love. You're lucky just to have
there.
just one love.
Yeah.
So fast forward now to Dr. Escobedo. He was able to get me an internship.
Man. God bless Dr. Escobedo right here, man. Shout out to Dr. Escobedo.
Dr. Escobedo. I know he's probably passed on since, but so I was able to spend almost 2 months in Miami at Power 96, and I probably listened to what, to me, the greatest freestyle DJ. I mean, I know everybody's got their own, but I don't know if you guys know him. His name was Phil Jones. He was a DJ on Power 96.
Wow.
Phil Jones was the greatest.
Heard the name.
Yeah.
I gotta look him up, dude. I gotta look him up because I love DJs.
I don't know what happened to him. I've been trying to find him.
You can't find him on YouTube or nothing?
No.
Usually people, if they can flex like that, they'll be on YouTube.
But there was another DJ there who you guys would definitely know. You know DJ Laz. He was there at the time as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Phil
Mami
Jones,
El Negro
DJ
did a big song. Yeah.
Yeah. So I there was like my toolage was with those guys. Yeah. I was the intern. I would carry the crates. I would run all the cables. I would basically I was their grunt boy.
The grunt, yeah.
But they would, Phil kind of took me a little bit under his wing as well, and he would let me spin, off air because the equipment was there, the music was there. Jelly Bean Benitez would show up a couple times. Stevie B would show up a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, Power 96 was breaking a lot of freestyle in back then.
Oh yeah, that was
as you know, it was
birthplace pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It was either coming from Miami or New York.
But that music was so dope. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. So
dude, if you couldn't break dance to that music, there was something wrong with your legs, bro. I'll tell you, especially that the freestyle song, freestyle's kicking in the house tonight. Like you cannot stop dancing when you hear that song.
Oh man. Yeah. And wait, and you're just fresh out of high school.
I'm still in high school. I finished my junior year. It's between my junior and my senior year, and so I'm hanging out in Miami. Luckily I had an uncle, two uncles that lived in Miami, so I was able to room and board with them.
Okay.
I didn't have to get a hotel and have my parents pay for it.
This was the unpaid internship, I take it.
It was unpaid internship, but it paid in so many other ways.
I mean, you're 16 years old. Who gives a crap
in the late 80s.
In fact,
hanging out with DJs.
You couldn't put money on it. You couldn't put a financial stamp on it, right? As to how invaluable it was, that experience.
Did any of the artists ever come by? Like, did you ever see Lisa or anybody? Yeah.
Stevie B, Jelly Bean Benitez, I think Madonna came through. Yeah. So, but I would be with them with all the big clubs on a Friday and Saturday night, and just
in
watching
Miami.
in Miami. Oh, the Club Facade
At
and
the
Will Smith wrote a
cocaine
song
height.
about it.
Dude, that's
no,
the cocaine height, dude. That's before Will Smith got there,
Holy
bro.
shit.
I mean,
This one-
Scarface.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
these
man.
weren't guys. These weren't clubs. These were cathedrals. These were like clubs,
Thousands of people.
Oh, 3-level, thousands of people. All beautifully dressed. Not like nobody's wearing baggy jeans. Nobody.
It's
People were
sexy.
dressing. It was beautiful. Women had gold and diamonds, and the men were like like Scarface. They had the suits.
Man, you can't have the
And-
Chino brothers
Cocaine
DJing.
money.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be
Yeah,
DJing
man.
an event like that, bro. We're too grimy, man. People would not
Yeah.
want us there. They would be unexcited if the Chino
Yeah.
brothers were there.
And of course, the music was unreal. The dance floors were just almost indescribable. It was just the vibe was unreal. So
Was that the ultimate bug? Like, I'm going to be a DJ?
that was the
that's where
ultimate
it was,
bug.
huh?
That was like,
Yeah, I
this
couldn't
is what I
imagine
want to
that
do.
wouldn't be.
This
Dude,
is what
if
I
you
want to
saw,
do, man.
how old are you at this point now, KGB? 16,
17?
17?
I was almost 17. Yeah,
You're
almost
17 years
17.
old and you're watching
17 years
somebody
old.
control a crowd, and the crowd they're
Oh.
controlling is enormous.
Yeah,
And Sonny Crockett era Miami
Yeah.
Vice, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
Miami Vice era of
Yeah.
Miami.
and how Phil Jones and DJ Laz and how these DJs are controlling the crowd. It's like having a marionette. You know how you control the marionette?
Oh, yeah.
It'll do anything you want. These DJs were doing whatever they want to this crowd. It was almost like the crowd was going to like climax because of these DJs. It was like that euphoric, right? It was
Yeah.
the music. It was their mixing.
Baby George.
It was, hey, Baby George. But these DJs were so freaking incredible. They would never screw up. They would never miss their edits. They were just on. Every time it was on fire. Every time. These guys.
What were some of the
unreal.
clubs? Like the names of the clubs?
Well, the big one was Club Facade.
Okay.
I remember that was the big one there. There was another one called Emerald or something like that. But some of these clubs were just like on South Street, Miami Beach, Key Biscayne. These clubs were like. I mean, there was nothing like that in Denver. Like when I came back,
so
I'm like,
when summer's over, you got to go back to Denver. What kind of
That's
letdown is
awesome.
that?
it's called depression.
Oh yeah, that would be a letdown, dude.
It's called depression. It's like, what am I doing here? And you come back from like not just the clubs and the scene, but like 80, 90 degree weather, beautiful women everywhere. You're 17 and it's starting to snow. Like it's cold and snow, and you're like, I'm in hell.
Dude, talk about the worst thing you could do to somebody is show them that, like, have them taste that cake. Because like that's something that most people, first of all, rocking a club is phenomenal. There's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it.
But I've never rocked any type of cathedral. Every club I've ever rocked, I mean, I've rocked some decent clubs, but nothing classy, Like, so to be 17, to see people rock a cathedral club, you know what I'm saying? And like, and you're in the group of the coolest people there, and now you gotta go back to being Leo over at
back in Denver, snowing,
Denver
depression.
Yeah.
the white kid at the black school.
Yeah,
Dr. Escobedo, who else do you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Where else can you send me,
exactly.
man?
Where else can you send me? Do you have any connections out in New York or LA, something like that? But luckily for me, by then, my cousin was a pretty big, well-known DJ in the Denver area, running a lot of the clubs. There was a new club that was opening actually at the time, and like for me, timing is everything.
Danny
Timing
P.
is always good.
What up,
Hey,
Danny?
Danny. Hi, Danny. So there was a new club that was just opening. It was called Club Neo. And
Hold
it
on,
was
real
all
quick. I
neon.
just want to say this. I apologize. Danny P, thank you for introducing us to this nice fella, DJ KGB.
Yeah.
Don't you agree,
Hey,
Adelaide?
Danny.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danny P. Yeah, this
All
is
right.
great.
Sorry, now let's get back to the story there, DJ
Yeah.
KGB.
So there was a new club that was opening up. It was called Club Neo, and to me it reminded me to a lot of the clubs that were in Miami. It was a 3 levels, big club, all neon, state of the art sound
in
system.
Denver, huh?
In Denver, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good for them.
Yeah, in a good part of Denver. There's some seedy parts of Denver, but it was like near downtown. Beautiful club, playing freestyle, playing pop, playing a lot of the funk, playing a lot of good stuff. And my cousin got a job there, and he was actually then able to get me in there to spin like on a slow night, like a Wednesday night, Thursday night. And then that's pretty much how I started coming up through some of the clubs in Denver. Then there was another club that opened up. It was actually called Club LA. The people in Denver are really fascinated with Los Angeles, right? Always been fascinated with the LA scene.
Get some homeless people there. They'll stop being so fascinated.
Yeah, well, actually, I think Denver has just about as many homeless as LA does. Denver,
I can't imagine.
Really bad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, in Tucson, in Tucson, we had Club NYC. Remember that?
Yeah, Tucson was filled with posers, though, bro. I don't care. I hate that town. You love that town. I hate that town.
I like Tucson.
I know.
But anyway, sorry, KGB. Go ahead.
No, so then there was another club that was opening up. It was called Club LA, and yeah, it was a big club. It was on the outskirts of Denver, but it was grand. And like they brought in palm trees, and they brought in like fake Hollywood sign. Like they wanted to make it look and feel like you were in Los Angeles, right? But again, great sound system. We at the time, the promoters were big. The owner knew a lot of artists. We had Erasure come in, play there.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I was standing right next to Vince Clarke. I mean, at the time, I didn't realize how big they would become and how big, like now looking back on it, like how amazing Erasure is. Because at the moment, I mean, they had like maybe only one or two big hits that were on the radio, and only one or two big, Chains of Love was the big one that, everybody played in the club.
I hate that kind of music, and I love that band. I'm serious. I hate new wave music, but I like Erasure.
Erasure were incredible. So they come in and play the club. So like, I'm like not really rubbing elbows, but I'm standing next to Vince Clarke, and at the time not really realizing that that's going to be a legend. Like that's the guy that everybody's going to be talking about, come in the 90s and 2000s and 2020s. We had the Human League would come in, Boy George came in. So I actually became a resident at this club. I was there for almost like 2 years, just playing every Friday and Saturday nights. And then,
real quick, what's your guys' favorite Erasure song?
The Change of Love is a good one.
Love to Hate You. Love to Hate You. My favorite.
My favorite is that one. That you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no. So what's that song called? I'm so
Lamore?
in love with you.
Was that a Lamore?
Oh baby, please.
It's called Respect.
Respect. You know why I like that song?
A little respect.
I love the line in that song where he goes, that you give me no reason for a man to forsake his lover. I'm like, yeah, dude, don't forsake your lover, bro.
Yeah, exactly, man. Tell him how it is.
Yeah, it hits, dude. Those guys are good. I'm not lying to either of you. I hated that kind of music. You would never see me listen to that in public. But that Erasure, man, they got me, baby.
That's great.
Tears for Fears, no thank you.
Really?
Erasure?
Tears for Fears. I love
Tears for Fears.
Not for me.
I love them too.
Actually,
no Depeche Mode, no Tears for Fears.
No, Depeche Mode is probably my second favorite. My favorite is OMD. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
OMD. I only like that one song from them. But you got to remember, DJ KGB, like when I grew up in LA. So if you grew up in LA, you ain't listening to that white people music. You got to listen to hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? K-Rock was big though in maybe Orange County.
Orange County.
K-Rock was
huge.
Big
in
West Covina.
Those guys
Yeah, but wasn't big in West Covina. You think people in West Covina listen to K-Rock? Maybe in the South Hills of West Covina where the white people live, or where we live, it was hip hop. And if they caught you listening to other music, then they called you all kinds of names pertaining to you not liking ladies. And that was not the truth about me.
Yeah.
So I would pretend I didn't listen to that music, but I'll listen to that Erasure, man. They got some good music.
Erasure's great. Yeah. Yeah. So then let's fast forward. In 1990, I up and moved to LA. I was done with Denver, man.
How old are you at that point? How old are you at that point?
I was 20 years old. I moved out here when I was 20.
Young to move to LA.
Yeah,
it's a big move. Yeah, for 20.
It was a big move. I obviously lived at home at the time, but my brother moved out here. He graduated college. He settled in Pasadena. Got a great job with JPL. And he called me up and he's like, man, you gotta come to LA, man. He's like, you gotta get out of Denver, man. You're just you're wilting away, right? You're wilting away. You gotta come out here. So
that was like
live with your brother?
Live with my brother. Yeah, we lived in Pasadena. I lived in Pasadena from like 1990 to like 2001 before and until I eventually moved to Valencia. But yeah, I was there for like almost 11 years. I love Pasadena. Love
Baby
Pasadena.
George gave you a
that
shout
area.
out. He said you look young.
In 1990, that was the
Thank you.
last time that you could afford to move to LA. You know what I mean? I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like at that
Yeah.
point, you could get rent relatively the same price. That's when I moved to Arizona. I left LA. I moved to Arizona because it was getting a little too expensive. I'm like, I can't afford to move out on my own, you know, and I didn't want to live with like
Yeah.
6 friends.
Yeah. Yeah, but I came out here and obviously I kind of sort of, no, not kind of sort of, I gave up DJing and I focused on going back to school. And my brother was pushing me. He's like, hey, listen, you gotta go finish your degree, you gotta go get your education. And I did. I went back. I got my undergrad in IT, and then I actually just kept going. I love school so much because I was a little older, I was a little bit mature, a little bit wiser, and I became a little bit more of a better student. I just
Where
kept
did you
going.
go to school?
So I started in University of Colorado, and then I finished out here. I went back and I actually ended up going to University of Phoenix. Got my finished up my undergrad there and got my MBA as well.
Cool.
So,
Good for you.
I got my
DJ,
MBA
that's
in IT.
smart. That's awesome. College degree and
But
stuff.
but the DJing has never really left me. I mean, that is something that's my ultimate favorite thing to do, right? And so thank God for Twitch 3 years ago, right? We all jumped on Twitch after the pandemic hit, after we all got shut down. Because even before that, I had a mobile DJ business, KGB mobile DJ. And yeah, I would do a lot of gigs out here in Santa Clarita, in the LA area, and did weddings, did corporate events, private events, school.
That's where all the vampires are from, Santa Clarita. You know that, Adley?
Really?
Right. Santa Clarita diet, man. The Santa Clarita diet.
The movie Lost Boys was supposed to be set in Santa Clarita.
Oh, okay.
When everybody say my cousins live in Santa Clarita though. It's in the San Fernando Valley.
The Santa Clarita Boardwalk.
Yeah, but I always say it's where the vampires are in Santa Clarita,
Oh man, Lost Boys is a great movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie.
So so do you do clubs at all down there? You do clubs at all, or more just private events?
So there's a lounge there. There's a lounge here that I do pretty much all their events. There's a couple of lounges, Black and Blue. There's a social out here. So yeah,
You'll have to drive down there one time, Danny P or whoever's
you
supposed
should
to go with me.
Should.
Let me know.
Well, I've been telling
It's only
Danny
an hour away.
because I know Danny loves toppers, man. You guys gotta come down. We'll treat you to pizza and beer.
Everybody talks about toppers. I've never had it.
I went there today for lunch. It was incredible.
Where's that? Where is this toppers? Santa Clarita?
Santa Clarita?
It's in Santa Clarita, yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
I went really good.
I drove through Santa Clarita when I was going to Magic Mountain last, and I was like, I have never seen a Los Angeles neighborhood like this in my life. I was like, I don't see any graffiti. I don't see any gangs. I was like, what is going on?
Through Santa Clarita? Because everything's underground.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of homeless. But there are a lot of them are in the wash. They're in the paseos. They're places where you don't see them, but there's a lot of them out here. Yeah.
All right. Well, KGB, I promise to keep you to an hour. So if you want to bail right now, you're more than welcome to.
No, let's go a little bit, let's go maybe another 10, 15 minutes because we got to talk about Twitch.
I totally want to talk about
Twitch.
I totally want to talk about Twitch. So what I want to talk with you about is this. So Adley and I are obviously just pushing our social and starting our social, but we're very active on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. Hold on one second, I got a cough.
Sorry, guys.
So now you've been crushing it on Twitch. And we would love to, if you have any suggestions for us, any tips for us, any of that type of stuff, we'd love to hear about it. That's first. And then second, explain to us, how did you develop this on Twitch?
Well, it all started 3 years ago. In fact, in April is going to be my 3-year anniversary. I had another DJ that, after everything got shut down, he was on IG streaming. He was streaming on Facebook, but he kept getting shut down. His live was getting shut down because of copyright
stuff.
30 minutes later.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So he discovered Twitch and he started telling me about it. And I remember hearing about Twitch, but I've always known it to be like a gaming platform, right? Yeah, it's a gaming platform. And then he's like, no, he goes, a lot of the DJs are getting on here, and he goes, I can show you how to set up your OBS and how to set up your scenes and how to become a video. I'm like, I'm not a video producer, I'm a DJ. But he's like, you're gonna have to do both, right? You're gonna have to video produce because you got to set up your scenes. You're gonna have to get a green screen. You're gonna have to get this, that, and the other. So he got me set up, and we went live. And the first couple of shows were horrible. The audio was bad. We just didn't know what we were doing. But
Chino brothers.
Go back a couple years to our first ones. They're bad. They're good content, but just horrible looking.
But the longer we stayed on, the more, the more followers we got, the more started getting recognized by a couple of the bigger DJs. Got a couple of raids because back then I'm like, I don't know what a raid is. Somebody at one point, I think I got like my second or third time on, I got a raid of like 50 people, and I didn't have any mods. I didn't even know what a mod was. And so the person that raided me is like, "Hey, do you want me to mod for you because you look like you're lost?" And I'm like, "What in the hell is a mod?" Like, I mean, conceptually, I know what a mod is, but what's a mod in Twitch? Like, how do you even set up a mod? So it was just such a big learning curve, right? But I think the biggest thing I can tell you about Twitch, and like one of the big takeaways, I think, is just consistency. You have to set up a schedule and just be consistent with it. Just like anything in life, you got to have a set schedule, because people will eventually figure out when you're on, and people will start coming because they'll know you're on a Monday or Tuesday at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? And try to come up with themes, like one night's going to be funk night, one night's going to be 70s disco, one night's going to be yacht rock, maybe, so I think consistency is the biggest thing. Don't try not to pop up a lot. I know a lot of people just pop up, but people just don't know that you're on unless they got their notifications on. I think consistency is a big thing on Twitch. It's just getting a regular schedule and sticking to it.
Yeah. I think another thing, and I don't disagree with that, but I also think another thing is Twitch is really flooded now with everyone thinking they should be a streamer.
It's diluted. It's diluted. It's diluting the product, and I think that's why a lot of people are going to other platforms. It's being diluted by everybody who thinks they are a DJ, and a lot of people are not even on camera. They're just playing, they're just playing off their iPod or off their Spotify. And to me as a DJ, that doesn't rock my boat. It doesn't do anything for me, right? I can listen to Spotify at home. I don't need to be on Twitch. As a DJ, I want to see other DJs just rock it. I want to see them do tricks. I want to see, I don't use turntables per se, but I want to see a guy using turntables. I want to see him scratch. I
want to see turntablism. DJs love turntablism. That's why we got into DJing.
True DJs love turntablism.
Well, and when you go to a battle, it's like you can sit. A DJ can watch a battle for 3 hours, and anyone who isn't would find that the most boring thing ever. You know what I mean? But a DJ, and especially if you're like close enough that you can see their hands, or if you're like when you'd see like fame, like cool like touring DJs, and you'd go to one of those venues where they had a balcony, that was always the best view. Because you could see the tables, and it was like, it's just all that.
Totally agree with you. And the first time, so one of the greatest things about Twitch for me is I was able to connect with some of these amazing DJs, and some DJs that have been my mentors, and like not mentors, but like my idols, I should say. DJs that I listened to and bought their mixtapes. Because somebody's going to do the first battle. So one of my favorite DJs is Shortcut, from the Beat Junkies.
Whose isn't? Go ahead.
Yeah. So when I discovered him on Twitch, and like one of the first couple times I seen him do a live set, like I couldn't believe how fast his hands move. Just not on the platters, but on the crossfaders. And how he makes the chirps and the transforms.
There ain't no bullcrap sampler of that guy, dude. I'll tell you that right now.
I him and Scratch Bastard, right?
Oh, 100%.
My two favorite scratch DJs.
100%.
So I would listen to their mixtapes. But you could see, like, if it wasn't for Twitch, I wouldn't be able to see them doing this unless I go just see them live. Like you said, Mike's sitting on the balcony, right? But because of Twitch, I've been able to see some of my favorite DJs. I've been able to connect with them. I've been able to get some of them to raid me. I've whispered with them. I've chatted with them. And not just DJs. Because of Twitch, I think we've just built such an amazing community and so much camaraderie and so many friendships now. Like my wife and I, we've traveled pretty much all over America, like doing Twitch meetups and meeting up with DJs and meeting up with Twitch fam.
Dude, we should go to a
Cool.
Twitch
Yeah.
meetup, Adley, and see if we
let
can
us
get
know,
some
man.
guests. Yeah, next time there's a Twitch meetup, if you could tell us about it, if we could show up, dude, and see. I mean, we're gonna be bothering your friends though, KGB. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna be asking people to come on our show.
Well, Danny's gonna have an unofficial Twitch meetup on the 24th for his
for the freestyle.
Freestyle, yeah. He's gonna have quite a little bit of. But then the next night, there's another big Twitch meetup on the 25th, and I will send you guys information. It's here in the LA area, and they're gonna have some big DJs. DJ Icy Ice is gonna be there.
Cool.
DJ Flavor from House Parties in the 90s is gonna be there. There's gonna be some big DJs there.
Dude,
I'm gonna have a big meetup then.
I'm telling you right now, Ad.
Cool.
I'm being honest with you. What we should do now, we can't do it this soon to the deadline because we have children and whatnot. You dig where I'm going?
Right,
but what we should do is KGB, keep us in the loop on this. And like if there's a couple in the summer, like bro, we just go down with a camera. Because think about it, we just go down with a camera, we just do freestyle
cool video, some
shout outs, and then make connects and be like, hey bro, we'd really love to have you on the show. If they say no, who cares? We got the pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true,
Yeah,
man.
and like I said, I've been to quite a few meetups where there were some big. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, DJ Henry is all over the place now from Power 106.
Yeah.
Artie the One Man Party.
Yeah.
Great guy. Great guy. Got a chance to meet him a couple times.
Got a couple songs out too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, KGB, we only interview DJs and we only talk about DJ culture on this show. So everybody you're talking about is someone we want to talk about. You know what I mean? Like we love
DJ
DJs.
Ice, Scotty Fox, Shortcut. I've got a chance to meet all these guys.
Oh, that's dope.
You know who I'd really love to meet and I would love to interview would be Qbert. That's probably my favorite DJ. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
He's a great dude, but be careful what you wish for. He's very, very quirky. He's a very quirky dude, but
I'm weird as heck too, though. That's the thing, man.
I've heard some stories about him.
Yeah, I'm super weird. That's why I like the guy. I like weird people. Andre 3000, like people like that.
Legends.
But Qbert he's just so, dude. You got to admit that guy has superpowers. Like that guy's on another level of like.
He does.
He's like on a CeeLo level. You know what I mean? He's on like, and I know I'm on that guy's nuts. I apologize, but earnestly. You know, the entire Invisible Scratch Pickles who's your favorite DJ, Adley?
God, that's a good question. But yeah, Qbert's up there, Shortcut, Beat Junkies. I rolled with I was good buddies with J-Rock growing up, and he was one of the original Beat Junkies.
Incredible DJ.
And so I got to see like Rapmatic, Melody, all those dudes
Mr. Chalk.
Mr. Chalk. Mr. Chalk's Lamont, man. He's out here in Bakersfield.
He's from Bakersfield.
I don't know him personally, but I know he's a beat junkie. Went down with the Beat Junkies and stuff too. And that was I think that was after I left is when Beat Junkies just really blew up. But and being in Bakersfield too, man. There's dope DJs here, man. I mean, Damage, Il Flow, Dos Mucho, all those dudes are just like.
Hey, don't forget Danny P.
Danny P, dude. Danny P, OG legend. No doubt about that too, and DJing and just industry wise and music.
Wait, what about Jules, man? We gotta shout out Jules, our Filipino homeboy, dude. Come on, you can't leave out the Asian people.
Definitely the funky Filipino Jules, DJ Jules. Yeah. So it's tough to say, but either way, just watching a DJ as not only a DJ, but just being a fan.
I love it.
And Mike remembers I had those old VHS tapes of those X-Men
battles.
Whoever.
We'd sit and watch these VHS tapes forever. The DMC finals. Yeah, that's right. We would just do it. We love them. And then we'd get in battles too. Like we weren't the battle DJs though. Like in our crew, we had a kid called Twist, and he was the battle DJ. But I mean, there's something about being a DJ that suckers you into being a DJ. You just can't not do it anymore. It just suckers you in. So what's your day job then, KGB? What can
I'm in IT. I put my degrees to use. So
we can capture a fascinating man like this. I hope they're paying you well. I hope they know what they got there.
Well, I'm at a not a C level, but I'm an executive for a company doing IT. So.
You're an international man of mystery, as far as I can tell, DJ KGB.
Thank you.
Now, real quick, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you. Go ahead.
They can find me on IG, DJ_KGB1, I believe. I don't remember off the top of my head. On Twitch, on Twitch. I'm about to maybe jump on TikTok.
Come on down, baby.
Yeah,
come on over.
I just created my Kick. A lot of people are going on Kick.
We're talking about that too. Yeah.
So I just created.
What's your handle at Kick? What's your handle at Kick?
KGB DJ.
KGB DJ. Okay, so no underscores, none of that. Okay, got you.
No, and I'm also KGB DJ on Twitch. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay, cool, man. We wrap up the show, DJ KGB, by making all our guests uncomfortable by doing one last thing. And so what it is we go over racial stereotypes of Asian Americans. Now, Adelaide's mother is Asian, but his father is Caucasian. However, my father is Caucasian, and my father is Asian, and my mother is Caucasian.
My wife's Asian. My wife's Asian.
Exactly. So you can get down with this. So every week we go on one side or the other. So last week was Asian dad. This week will be Asian mom. So we're gonna watch this racist video and then see how true it is to Asian culture. Adelaide, you ready?
All right, here we go, guys. Asian mom.
Having Asian mom be late.
Wait, 1 second. Hold this. No, hang on. But I already put a paper on it. No. Don't eat here. You're getting juice everywhere. Go. Oh my God, what do you want me to eat?
All right.
Okay, so the watermelon over the toilet, that was me at my mother's law house 2 weeks ago. I shit you not.
Crazy.
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh. What Asian? Where's she from?
Cambodian.
Okay.
Jungle Asian. So her mom's gonna be strict like
even worse. Even worse.
Close,
yeah, even worse than what you saw in the video. Yeah, so Cambodian, Chinese, born in Cambodia, raised in China.
Oh, she has double Asian in her then, bro. Oh, it's gonna be even worse for her.
Does she eat the durian? The spike?
Everything.
Oh man, it smells so bad.
No,
but it tastes good.
Not
Jackfruit.
durian.
They call it jackfruit.
Yeah, none of that. Not the rank. None of that stuff. No.
Now, where did you meet your wife, KGB?
So I met my wife in 1999 through 1999, right on the cusp of Y2K. We met through a mutual friend. I had a coworker that knew her that set us up on a blind date, and the rest is history.
Do you have a bunch of half Asian kids?
We do. We have 2 daughters. We have a 17 and a 13-year-old. The 17 is actually going to be DJing in like 45 minutes. She's a DJ as well.
Oh, nice.
Wait, what's her name?
Her name is DJ C-Sky. She's 17 and she kills it.
Okay.
Well, next time we have you on DJ KGB, you bring DJ, what is it, C-Sky? Yeah,
C-Sky.
Next time we have you on, bring DJ C-Sky with you.
I would love it.
We've had father and son teams here twice on the show.
Chaos.
And we truly enjoyed talking to the next generation of DJ.
She's up and coming. Yeah, she's really great. She's really great. I've already had a couple of promoters reach out to me. I'm like, back off. She's only 17. She can't even be on club yet. So, Scam Artist. Sujit from Scam Artist.
Oh, really? That's a big organization. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big one. Oof.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we let you go, KGB, so you can go entertain all your fans. Folks, go watch them right now that we're hanging up over here. Go to Twitch and find our friend DJ KGB at one more time, DJ KGB. What is it?
On Twitch, it's KGB DJ. So twitch.tv. I always say twitch.com, but it's actually twitch.tv / KGB DJ.
Get over there right now, folks, as we hang up and watch KGB DJ. KGB, man. Go ahead, Ad.
I was going to ask if you had time for one news story.
That's on him. Go ahead. I don't want to.
But if you got to go, KGB, it's cool.
Let's do it. Let's do it real quick.
You're cool for one.
I love this. This is our favorite part. We really end with news stories. So you're going to
pick it anyways.
You're going to pick, or you want him to pick?
Okay, I'll give you a couple topics. So Nick Cannon's on a new show called Who's Having My Baby.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves talks about a killer molecule bacteria being named in his honor. And then DJ Quick, this is kind of a little bit more serious. DJ Quick talks about the demise of Death Row. So pick one of those headlines.
Let's talk Nick Cannon. It's my boy.
Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon. Okay.
That's your boy.
Nick Cannon.
I'm gonna clown this dude, man.
What's he got? Like 20 kids, man?
Yeah, no. All right, go for it, Adler.
Yeah, I think he has like 10 kids. So Nick
Wow.
Cannon, so it's fake. So Nick Cannon duped the media with a fake pitch for Who's Having My Baby with Nick Cannon. So when I first saw this article, it was going to be a reality show. It was going to be the mother of all games with Kevin Hart as host. Now the faux show was framed as a slate of female contestants competing to have his next baby. But later it was announced that the idea for Who's Having My Baby was a gag dreamed up by Kevin Hart as a sketch for an upcoming project. Now, according to insiders, the details on what that project actually is will be out later, so we'll have to see. But apparently it's a fake show. When I first saw this yesterday, I was like, so would women really compete to have Nick Cannon's baby?
They would. Absolutely would.
They actually
remember we did
I
this
think they
story?
absolutely would.
One time, KGB, we did this story about Drake, and he put hot sauce in his condom. Remember that story, Adley?
Yeah. And because he just hooked up with a chick and threw out the condom, and she went in there thinking, okay, I'm gonna get pregnant from Drake, and then you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But there was hot sauce in the condom, and she got burned, literally.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! I didn't hear about that one. That's quite a story.
You gotta watch the Chino Brothers, KGB. We only have the classic stories
okay.
in here.
I'm gonna follow you guys. I'm gonna subscribe.
I'm down, man. Trust me. So hold on. This is my question for you guys. Here's the hard part, because you want to hate Nick Cannon for all the shenanigans of sleeping with all these women and having all these kids, but he's a pretty likable guy, dude. That guy Nick Cannon is enjoyable, isn't he?
He is, and he's a funny dude too, man.
Yeah,
and he was with Mariah Carey. So you're thinking like, dang, that's pretty impressive in and of itself. And he has 12 kids, ages 11 to 5 months.
So I went to a taping of what America's Got Talent, the one he
I would love to do
that. So he was entertaining us, before the taping. He's a really funny dude, man. He was on.
Oh, you got to talk to him?
Well, lightly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get tickets to go on to be in the audience of America's Got Talent?
My wife got him. I don't know. She called somebody. I don't know what else she did. She just
We'll
told me,
look into that next time you come out, Mike.
Well, I would love to go. My kids would die if they got to go see America's Got
Talent.
Yeah,
it's taped right across the street from Farmers Market off of Fairfax.
Okay.
Was he wearing a turban?
No, I don't know.
That's his thing, right? Wearing the turban.
I don't believe he was.
Would you guys would you ever wear a turban? Like if Nick Cannon had a party, you were invited, but you had to wear a turban, would you guys go and wear a turban?
He's been rocking that look, trying to get it.
He's trying to get it going, dude. I think he even sells
popular,
them.
but
I think he even sells them. Nobody wants to buy them. All right, here's my last question. Then we'll wrap the show up, or if it's up to KGB still. But did you guys remember when Nick Cannon and Eminem started battling? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
vaguely. Yeah.
Oh, dude, Nick Cannon fired shots at him, dude.
He did pretty solid. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He held his ground.
I think a lot of people fired shots at Eminem because here you got this white rapper, who is really good, and it's kind of just he's encroaching on a territory that was predominantly African American. I think there was a lot of like
Melly Mel recently said it. Melly Mel's all look,
where's
man.
This guy coming from, man? This guy's freaking good too.
But Melly Mel's all, I'm a pioneer. I've been doing this forever. Eminem, he's popular, but he's white. Like he was kind of saying that he made it so big because he's white. But you're like, dude, you got to credit Eminem. I mean,
dude,
right?
Even Snoop Dogg was clowning Eminem like a couple years ago. Like they had beef for like 2 years, man. So I never thought about it, KGB, but you're right.
But which is funny because discovered by Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre and Snoop are boys, and that you figured that whole little family would be tight. But yeah, I mean, stuff happens between families. I mean, look at those brothers who hate each other, sisters who hate each other. So
yeah. And I got it, Mike. I got to share a story that's going to make you mad.
What?
Logic. And I've talked about his album being like, because I'll look up KGB, I'll look up like, I'll just Google. So what are the hot hip hop albums right now? And Logic had been coming up for the past few weeks. So I'm all right, I'll give it a listen, and it's not bad. It's not, it's not like, whoa, but it's like, all right, I'll listen to it. Now, to piss you off, Mike, he just released a cover of Ice Cube. It Was a Good Day.
Yeah, that won't piss me off.
It won't.
I don't no, because here's the thing. Like, I don't hate I dislike Bruno Mars. Like, I don't like Bruno Mars because I don't not no, I'm sorry, not Bruno Mars, The Weeknd. I apologize.
Oh,
I don't like
Mhm.
The Weeknd because I can't understand why he's so popular. I don't see a lot of talent in him. I'm being honest. Okay,
Yeah.
rappers, it's like I just don't understand this hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're doing it wrong. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
they're bad. I'm saying I don't understand this version of hip hop. And there might be a version of hip hop that's coming around, you know, because hip hop moves so fast, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the 90s, I didn't really like hip hop that much, you know, until Biggie and Puff started coming around. Like that bum skiddly bum hip hop, I kind of didn't like until after it wasn't popular anymore because I couldn't keep up with hip hop. Hip hop moves very fast. So these new guys, like, I'm not saying they're horrible. What I'm saying is I think they're horrible. You hear what I'm going? But like, if you're a young person, you probably should
probably
listen to
love 'em.
music I think is horrible.
Yeah,
You
see,
know?
I grew up with the 80s and 90s hip hop, and
Yeah, me
that's like
too.
like
I love it.
I consider myself a hip hop head. I'm all about boom bap. I love 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, well, Joe Budden was talking about Logic, and after he heard this Ice Cube, it was a good day. Joe Budden says, Logic, I hate to continue to make a career at your expense. I don't hate it, actually. I'm glad that I have a little list of you. One day I'm going to grow up. Logic, I beg of you, I'm pleading with you. Please join me in retirement. Never step near a recording device again. Throw your phone in the ocean. Be allergic to microphones. Promise your fans nothing. Don't go out in the studio ever again. You're the worst. You're really
Wow.
bad. You have, and
Hey,
when,
Button, how do you really feel? How do you really feel, Button? Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
yeah, and he says, when you think you can't get any worse, you have the bright idea of doing an Ice Cube flip, i.e. the cover of It Was a Good Day.
Yeah, Ice Cube's a legend, one of the greatest.
One
What a
of my
rapper.
favorite rappers.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I would Run DMC is absolutely my favorite group, and then
Yeah.
Ice Cube's probably my favorite battle rapper.
Well, Ice Cube was probably one of my favorite rappers, but if if we were to talk about NWA, I think the best pure rapper was Run, and MC Rent, right?
Yeah.
I think, and he's the one who didn't really even make it that big, but I think he was the best pure rapper out of all those guys, right?
He got into pornography afterwards. He
Huh.
ended up,
Yeah.
he ended up. I did remember we did an NWA
Like producing
story.
it? Was
Yeah,
it
when we first started the
Oh,
podcast, KGB.
Ren.
Ren.
I thought you said Run isn't Run DMC.
No,
Ren,
My
Ren,
bad.
Ren,
Ren
Ren.
from NWA. Yeah.
When we
okay.
first
Yeah, Ren.
started this podcast, all we did was hip hop beef stories. So we tell each other hip hop. I tell Adley a hip hop beef story, and then I told him how NWA broke up. That was an episode. But anyways, all that being said, my thing is with the new guys. So like, if I'm wrong and this music is good, right? Because it's just in my mind, I'm like, I don't think it's good. Now, if you think it's good, I can't argue with you because it's your taste of music. However, I don't hear any classics coming out of this generation.
Yeah, I don't hear
No.
stuff you're going to be like 10 years down the line, like, remember that Little Baby album? Oh, so I'm going to be, and I know people love Little Baby, and I'm just, for an example, throwing his name out there. Even my son and I were at the park yesterday, and someone was bumping some of the new hip hop, and I'm like, it all sounds the same to me. They've all got the voice modulator, and it's like singy, and it's just, I don't know.
It all sounds the
I'm an
same
old
because there's
guy.
like
What can I say?
all the beats are coming from one or two sources. That's it. It's just so it's just all sounds the same.
And KGB, like, I appreciated boom bap after, though. You know what I mean? Like, while the era was going on, I was listening to alternative rock. But then once hip hop started getting a little too commercial, but it was still good though. Like the Eclectic album, Wyclef Jean's Eclectic album, I could play for my kids right now, and it doesn't sound dated to me from the time I first heard it. Same with the Chronic, Chronic 2001. I can listen to it. It sounds exactly the same as it did the first time because it's classic,
Yeah. America's Most Wanted, Tupac.
Yeah.
I can still pop that in and be like, yep.
Oh my god.
Classic.
Yeah,
Biggie,
that's
classic. Nas, classic.
Oh, Nas.
Jay, classic.
Eric B. and Rakim.
LL Cool J, classic. Ice-T 6 in the morning. Sometimes we'll be on the show and people will bring up a song I haven't heard in forever, and I'm like, oh, I have to listen to that song tonight, or else. I was talking with Adley one time. We because we do those we do the clips during the day called the midday getaways. So we'll have conversations and then we'll read a news story. But one day we signed on and I was like, bro, I just listened to Jadakiss today just because. And like sometimes that's how that music is. But the current music, it's like I don't want to be an old fuddy-duddy. I don't want to be an old but I don't think the kids like it either.
Yeah, I wonder. We Caden and I, my son, talk about this all the time. It's like, hey, this is great. You have all these platforms. So if you're an artist, you can make music and put it out there. That's great. The problem is anybody can put anything out, even if you think you're good or not. You can put it out. So it's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? There's just so many ways you can get new stuff. Now, let me ask you this, KGB. Sorry, not to if you want to comment on that, but on the Logic cover and the Ice Cube, do you think Ice Cube approves of it?
I would say probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. Just wondering. I'm just curious. I was thinking about that too, because
probably not.
Mike, I feel like Ice Cube is pretty protective of his stuff, I would think.
Oh, but
I would hope they had a conversation about this. Like, hey, Logic goes to Ice Cube, says, hey, I'm gonna
can I? Yes, I would definitely ask for permission.
I feel like he owns his publishing, though. I feel like Cube would own his publishing. He seems like the type of fellow who would. And that was an era, because think about it. That's why he left Jerry Heller in the first place, is because he was getting screwed on his points,
on the money. Yep.
Yeah. And then remember he takes the baseball bat into what was the label? Interscope, was it?
Yeah, it was Interscope.
Interscope.
Yeah, he takes the baseball bat into Interscope.
With Shug, right? Shug Knight?
No, it was after it was after Shug had already broken off into now what was Death Row, and then NWA was now under Shug's thumb, and Cube had left because Jerry Heller had screwed him. But he came back to get his points. So I don't know, man. I would assume he owns the publishing to that song, but I could be wrong, man, because rappers got screwed a lot back in that era.
Yeah. And if Logic went to Ice Cube and said, can I do a cover if it was a good day? I don't know. I just don't see Cube saying yes.
No, I don't see him saying
man,
yes.
come on.
I don't see him saying yes.
Yeah.
So.
All right, real quick.
All right, gentlemen.
Favorite Ice Cube song, and then we hang up. DJ KGB, favorite Ice Cube song?
It Was a Good Day.
That is a good song. Adley.
What's the We Be Clubbing?
Oh, that is a
party
great
joint.
Song.
That was a party joint.
Yeah. Remember Cole? That was Cole's favorite song. My favorite song is No Vaseline. All right, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for watching the Chino Brothers. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, and don't forget to check out our homeboy DJ KGB. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
100%. And we'll see you next time. All right, guys.
Thanks, everybody.